Hello, folks. Tyler A713 here, and I just want to do a quick little review and thoughts and opinions on Crystallized as a whole. I was gonna do a part one and a part two, but I figured I'd just do all of it together. This is gonna be the first of many videos in regards for part two. This being just my overall thoughts. The next one is gonna be just with me saying what could have been better, because like everyone else, I am in the majority of people that was disappointed in the finale. You guys saw my reactions. I went from being extremely hyped up to then extremely disappointed within the rest of what call it, of the final episode. Final episode, because the way that you guys saw how it ended, it didn't feel like an actual finale. Um, Sorry if I'm moving my chair so much. Yeah, I'm just gonna be completely honest and keep it a buck 50 with you guys. That finale was disappointing. It was really disappointing. Uh, because of two things that had me irritated. Actually no, three things. Three things that had me irritated. One being that the Garmadon death fake out. That you guys saw how I was to that. Like, you guys saw my reaction to it of Garmadon quote unquote dying, and I was like, oh no, they're about to actually do this. So then, not even on next episode later, the same episode, mind you, a few minutes later, just like Garmadon comes out of nowhere, talk about some, well, folks, we better start getting hitting the road. We better start hitting the road before this whole temple collapses. And you're just like, then what exactly, like, why do the fake out? Like, why do the fake out at that point? You know? And it just like, it's just that. And then two, which is what everyone did not want to happen, it ended up happening in the most bullshit way it could be. Now you're probably thinking in your head, what could Tyler possibly be thinking about? And it was referring to when he said that the worst thing that happened that could have happened. That being the sensitive topic of the whole season being Harumi. Now, the moment everyone found out that mask, no, the moment we found out that Harumi was in the sets, to then finding out that she was the masked person that was, getting all the villains together and doing all these secretive plans, essentially being the Vengestone buyer, that has been a plot line since of Master of the Mountain, that led on into the island and then Seabound and then will crystallize, obviously. But yeah, everyone was just saying, hey, cool, you got her here. And then when they showed that she was being a villain, saying, she's doing these awful things again, you know, and things started to kind of go downhill because they constantly show her hesitating. They showed her hesitating, saying, with her like being revived from the Overlord, and then when she found out it is the Overlord, she was like, I can't work for. I'm sorry. I think this is kind of obvious, but I'm going to be talking about spoilers because the last video wasn't even spoiler free. I just straight up had the episodes on there, and which, by the way, thank you for everyone that's been viewing it. Where at the moment I saw it was like at 5K views and over 100 likes. For someone that's been out of the ringer for a few seasons now, to the fact that I was able to bump out those numbers, which, by the way, I was the first person to upload my reactions to all of those episodes. I did the fact checks. No one else has, because when everyone else was uploading the episodes, I got my video out there done and easy. I didn't even need to edit anything. I didn't. That was all one take, which is why it was an hour long. There was probably some things I should have taken out. I will say though, I did get flagged for some content because of not even because of the episode itself. It's because of the music. The two musics being the Temple of Light music and the famous iconic Green Ninja soundtrack. Those two but besides that, going back to Harumi, right? People did not want her to be redeemed. and they have every right to say so. Harumi does not need to be redeemed. She doesn't need to be forgiven or condemned for all the things that she done. Cause let's list off the stuff that she did. Uh, First thing being, she conducted um murder. Essentially, she was the reason why Hutchins got killed. She's also the reason why the royal family got killed. Um, there's a lot of things to go about. Oh yes, kidnapping a literal baby because she knew that baby was Master Wu. So she kidnapped Wu. She kidnapped Misako. She kidnapped Lloyd. Well, Lloyd got himself into that situation, but it's still regardless. He got held as a hostage. Oh, and more importantly, she resurrected Garmadon from the departed realm and had him rule upon Ninjago. Keep in mind, right? Her motives for all of this was because the Great Devourer got unleashed onto the city way back in season one, and because the ninja did not do a very good job and didn't realize how much collateral damage they caused without realizing, excuse me, and we all know how everyone was after season one when they're like, well, you know, Garmadon was the one that saved the city. Keep in mind that without Garmadon, I mean, without the ninja giving Garmadon the golden weapons, along with telling him about the weak spot, Garmadon wouldn't have succeeded. Nope. That is a very huge concept that not everyone in the city realized that it was because of the ninja that Garmadon was able to succeed. But yeah, no, nope, not because of that. And then oh yeah, all the stuff that happened in Hunted with her and her goons, you know, hunting down people, having them have bounties and all of that. Pretty much putting Ninjago into like a somewhat post-apocalyptic place. That's just icing on top. And then once she got resurrected, she still went to go do awful things, you know, working with the Overlord, the embodiment of destruction and evil, the literal dark half of Ninjago. You know, because why work with Garmadon when you can work with the embodiment of evil? And then she gathered all of the villains from the past seasons, you know, being Pythor, Asphera. I know for a fact she rebuilt Mr. F, who was formerly known as Mr. E, because Garmadon was the one that fucking popped him like a friggin' grape. You know, she broke King Vangelis out of prison. Oh well, I mean, by the looks of it, they kind of just held him in a room. Which then you gotta think about how the hell did no one notice? You would think someone like that in Shintaro would have been heavily guarded, but no, nope, nope, not at all. And then oh yeah, the mechanic. Well, I mean the mechanic kind of like came in the last minute. Anywho, yeah, did all those things. You know, helped gather Vengestone. You know, to make an army. All these crazy things, right? Helped. Oh, made the spiders that blew up the monastery that almost killed Wu Pixel and Skylar and also Neil, but she was able to escape with the Samurai X Mech. The list just continues. But you know what? This is what they did. Once Harumi found out that the Overlord was the reason why the Great Devourer bit Garmadon. See what I said? All the Overlord did is just set the course and possess the snake to bite Garmadon, and which is the reason of the whole driving force of what happened that day. That's it. He didn't say he was also the reason why the Great Devourer came back and did all the things that they did in the city. Because you want to know why? This thing is one of the reasons why the Council of the Crystal King kind of like got the short end of the stick in the second half, because they built them up, like they hyped them up, having them all pull up. They did the scene in the monastery and all that, just to get shafted and like the main part, like the actual when things start to feel like the part two, because the first few episodes of part two kind of still feel like it was still belonging in part one. Excuse me. So they had all that. Yeah, once they became like their crystallized, like once they became like generals, they got tossed to the side. And one thing that I did not like that they did not play with is the fact that Pythor was the person that released the Great Devourer, causing Harumi's parents to die and essentially creating the Quiet One. But no, they don't talk about that. They talk about the Great Devourer right in front of Pythor, the motherfucker that released the damn snake, and he's dead silent. Dead silent. He's like looking around, not nothing, nothing. Didn't do a single thing, and the fact that yeah, that's see, I'm over here branching out because there's so much things that I found wrong and that I did not like throughout the course of part two is the lack of unique dialogue with certain characters. For example, you mean to tell me that the Overlord and Pythor did not have any special dialogue referencing of them working together since rebooted? Excuse me? They name dropping the Overlord and Python's over here like, all hail the Crystal. Oh, I should have never did it like that. Oh, well, all hail the Crystal King. But yet, Pythor never put two and two together saying, wait a second, I worked with this man before. You know, I feel like Pythor should have had a higher like regard to instead of like besides all the other generals because Pythor had history with the Overlord. But nope, no unique dialogue, not a single one. Instead, we just got them tossed to the sidelines, and that's it. That's it. And then, all the crazy things. But this is a review. This is a review, not a for play by play on what could have been done better. Because that will come next video, which should be dropping on Monday. Because I'm going to be dropping this video right now. By the time you're watching it, it's going to be Sunday. I'm filming this on Saturday, which is don't mind the fact that I'm wearing the same hoodie that I did last video. Don't mind that, alright? I just threw that on because I had an undershirt, so I didn't want to, you know. Anyway, part one was good. It started off strong, and every episode was good. It was good. Some were peak moments. It had peak moments. Even when part two started to come around, things were good. You know, things were going good. It was still good. The monastery episode where everyone's going at it with all the villains and they're trying to hold the fort for the golden weapons. That was a good episode. You know, all the stuff with the OG4 having to deal with the whole subway thing. That was good. And then the banter between Harumi and Lloyd. That was also good. But things started to turn sort of for like downhill, and it all kind of started with the because for me, a lot of people are dogging the hell out of episode 29, dragon form. Me personally, I like the episode. I felt like things got downhill for me up until the finale, which being episode 30. And that was where I got disappointed real quick because they hyped up the season. They made us wait 5 months. 5 months. And here's a fun fact. Lego uploaded and privated the rest of part 2 on a playlist on Monday. It is Saturday night and they still have not published those things. At the time of this recording, they dropped the series finale trailer along with another clip. And that's it. It has almost been a week. Coming up this Monday, it'll be a week since they did that. And keep in mind, Crystalized Part 2 doesn't officially drop in the US until the 10th. So that's in like 8 days. And they still haven't, never mind. Besides that, it doesn't feel like a finale at all. It doesn't, because there was so many like things that they could have done to make this the quote unquote finale. And you guys saw in the episodes, no one died. No one died. There was no long lasting consequences for certain actions. They felt they it felt like no stakes were there at all. Sure, the whole idea of the Overlord trying to corrupt the powers of creation was there, but there was no long lasting consequences because of that. It didn't feel like, ooh, no, they gotta stop him before he does that. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. The only sort of consequences that they got was that the ninjas lost their powers. That was it. Just for Wu to be like, true power is never really lost. So then what was the point? What was the point? The only thing that is going to be a long lasting consequence is the fact that the golden weapons were destroyed. That's it. That was it. Other than that, there was nothing. Hell, Nia got her powers, was starting to get her powers back throughout the rest of part 2. Now I get that I can understand, because just like Kai, you know, when Kai got his powers taken away, he slowly started getting his powers back. But then for Nia's case is significantly, worse, because you want to root for the fact that she doesn't get her powers, because who knows, if she got her powers, we don't know if she might revert back to her Naiad state. Because we don't know what's the case of her having her powers removed and coming back, is that she might revert back to being the sea. Who knows? We never got that answer, because they left us with so many questions in mind with so little answers, right? And it's just like, it's frustrating. It's fucking frustrating, because they do all of this, and then they just like, oh well, you know what? I'm over here thinking that the Dragon Force was gonna be a permanent state for the ninja, like a permanent look for them. Nope. Nope. When they destroyed the golden weapons, they reverted back into their golden suits and got corrupted, and their elemental powers infused with the golden weapons became the Ultra Dragon. And then they went back to normal. Like that didn't happen. This entire time, right? I didn't peep it until afterwards. I don't even know I have these headphones on. I'm not even listening to it. This entire time, I didn't realize or paid attention to the fact. No, actually, I did, because I commented on it when it happened. I was under the impression that that they did actually were the ones that fused into the dragon, but no. Their elemental powers, when they're in their dragon form, is shifted into the golden weapons, which then shifted into the four-headed ultra dragon, and that was it. That was it. There was no consequences of them being in them dragon forms. There was no consequences of the golden dragon even existing. It was pretty much just a watered down version of the final battle from season 2. The Overlord is quote unquote destroyed by the powers of creation. Lloyd is wearing a gold suit, which, by the way, golden only Lloyd lasted like a good couple of seconds, because Mans looked at himself at the reflection of a crystal, got scared, and turned right back to normal. Which, by the way, that's even another issue. I didn't realize it was an issue until everyone else started pointing it out as an issue. Lloyd is racist to his own kind. Because we all know Lloyd is part Oni and Dragon. And what does he do throughout part 2 once they find out that Oni form can be a key to defeating the Overlord? This motherfucker goes on throughout the whole part 2 since meeting his father again, saying, oh, I don't want to be a Oni. And he's dogging the shit out of Onis. And a lot of people pointed out and brought up Mistake, because Mistake, she's a full-blooded Oni, mind you, showed care and compassion, a bunch of other, non-Oni type emotions. Because, truth be told, Oni is only about destruction. They're not always evil. Because the first Benjitsu Master is half Oni. Wu is half Oni. I'm thrown in the whole part Oni and Dragon continuity in there. When Sensei Garmanon was quote unquote human looking. He was still part Oni. This motherfucker is part Oni. Why is he? I thought the idea that they were going with is that they're gonna have Lloyd embrace, both sides so he can find balance. No, he just shrugs it off because he's like, oh, I don't want to look like my father. Okay, okay. I thought the whole purpose was even Garmadon was fucking saying you need to embrace your Oni side as well. You can't just keep ignoring it. Like he's pretty much saying, hey, embrace it, use it with what you will, and that's it. That's it. These people, bro. It's just, it's just frustrating. It's really frustrating because I wanna like some of the stuff that they did, but then the negatives keep outweighing it, right? It keeps outweighing it, and it doesn't help. Another thing that I don't like as well is that the 11-minute runtime is what also made things go downhill, because the final episode of Crystallized, pretty much the entire final episode of this entire series that started with Way the Ninja to right now, the last episode was fucking 11 minutes. You mean to tell me that they wrapped up the final battle, started rebuilding, doing all kinds of stuff in the span of 11 minutes, and they thought that was a good idea? Actually, listen, I don't want to knock the people down that made this, but it comes to the point with what the fuck were they thinking? What were they thinking? What exactly were going through them and saying, hey, you know what? Instead of making the final episode 22 minutes so we can expand more on all the different options that we have on here, they said no. Let's just stick with the 11-minute runtime. Let's have all of these stuff rushed and packed into this one episode. And then, man, that's it. They said Harumi doesn't face consequences for her actions from everything that happened throughout the season and from Sons of Garment to Hunted, and then that's it because she died in Hunted. But yeah, the fact that she doesn't face any consequences and she's there in the final episode minutes of them starting to rebuild the bounty. She's there. She's fucking there. Why? Why? Why is she there? Why is she there? Why? Why is she there? It makes no sense to have her there. Overall, right? And I want to wrap this up because it's at 23 minutes, and I don't want to make another longer video like I did last one, which I'm surprised that it did that good considering it was an hour and almost 10 minutes. But overall, like everyone else is saying, it's honestly a 7 out of 10, or maybe a 7.8 out of 10, or maybe just 8.5 out of 10. Like I want to enjoy it, right? And I slept on it. I slept on it because it's a whole day since everything happened. Or technically it's been 2 days for people, but regardless, my time where I am in my time zone, it's been a day since everything happened. And the more and more I think about it, and other people start to think about it as well, is that they start to find more problems with it. They tend to find more problems. And more importantly, before I end this off, why the out of all the songs they chose for the final few minutes of that episode, they chose a song from a character that got introduced in this season. They couldn't choose the Fold, because they utilized them a lot. This was the first season since, I kid you not. Huh. Since Oh shit, that's right. They did do. Oh, I can't talk. Actually, no, they didn't utilize them for an intro since not March Oni, since Master of the Mountain. But they didn't actually use like them in the show since March of the Oni. No, actually no. Since Hunted, they made the Fold. They gave them character renders and everything. And they just said, you know what? No, let's not do that again. They just chose Sally's dumbass song. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It had to be said. Dumbass song that did not need to play for the last few minutes of Ninjago. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. And to anyone that's using the, well, it's just a kid's show, you know, it can't have a dark ending, it deserves to have a happy ending. No. That was even a bittersweet ending. That was straight up a happy go fun ending. You know, no one died, no consequences, everything is good. There can be endings where it's bittersweet. Look at regular show, for example. You know, the whole thing happened because Pop sacrificed himself, and he did it for the sake of everyone else. There can be consequences, and it can be a bittersweet without having it be fully happy. There's other shows where I've done that before, and that's the problem. Is that there has been times where Ninjago has gone dark. The whole Oni and Dragon saga was one of the most darkest, like not darkest, but like more mature and darker toned seasons that we've ever got in the whole show. Miss Hutchins got killed, the royal family got killed, Miss Stocke got killed, Iron Baron got turned to steel, and they showed it. They showed it. All these things happened, and then it came down to the Secrets of Forbidden Spinjitzu with the Ice chapter. Zane and had, sorry if I'm doing this. Zane was a ruler for several years, and he's captured and kidnapped people and turned them into his personal servants, most in which some of them were made out of purely ice. But regardless, you know, it's just a kid's show, right? It's just a kid's show. Anyway, I will be back on Monday to talk about the things that I feel like could have been done better with chapter 2. Well, not chapter 2, part 2. And I'm going to be completely honest, the weight and the fact that they gassed this thing up to oblivion just to have that as the finale was not worth it at all. But anyway, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Now, where's that stop recording button? Peace.